one of my girls was going through this.
I think I'm back up, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Sure
I've never been cut off like that before.
Television. But even that is different than what the victims themselves went through. And so the point I'm trying to make is everything that the victims have gone through in these cases is horrific, and their response is entirely justified. At the same time, I think it's important to stand up for the prosecutors of my former office and make clear that what they were trying to do was help these victims. They should not be portrayed as individuals that just didn't care, because they have spent a lifetime of bringing cases like this. They are individuals who really, really do care.
That's not an apology, right?
But that's not an apology.
Yeah. Yes.
Hi, Nikki Schwab, New York Post. How much of this do you think was Epstein getting special treatment because of his enormous wealth and also political connections?
So, I've heard a lot about that. And if you go through the record, you will see that in July, he was presented with certain terms. And I laid this out in a letter, an open letter that I wrote to address some of these questions in 2011. And he was presented with terms. And the office, throughout this entire negotiation, and it took several months, from July to, December, through these 5 months of negotiations, stuck to those terms. You go to jail, you register, and you provide restitution. The original term was 2 years. The office ultimately agreed to 18 months. It had to be an offense. It had to be an offense where there was registration, because the world needed to be on notice that he was a sexual predator. And it had to be a situation where the victims could seek restitution, because it wasn't just enough for him to go to jail. And let me also say, restitution is also not enough. You can never put victims in the place they were before they were victimized. You can't unwind history, but restitution is important. Thank you very much.
One quick question. You mentioned his legal team. You mentioned
All right, so hold on, guys.
how powerful his lawyers were, that they put pressure on you, that they put pressure on DC. Did someone at DOJ tell you or order you to cut a deal with Jeffrey Epstein?
His attorneys certainly filed several appeals with Maine Justice. I will again restate, when the career attorneys met with him, they presented certain terms, and the office stayed true to those terms throughout. Those terms did not change. The agreement did not change. No level of appeal to Maine Justice changed the terms of these initial points in those agreements. One last, right there. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Caitlin Fulmer, ABC. I just had a quick question for you. In the proposed remedies from Jane Doe 1 and 2, one of their requests is can they just meet with you? I know you're not apologizing today, but would you be willing to meet with them?
That's a really good question. This is currently in litigation, and so I don't want to interfere with that litigation. But let me just say, I have monitored this litigation without, I haven't monitored day to day. I have never pulled the full record, but I have watched it. And I have seen what these victims have gone through. And whenever this litigation is concluded, I've always had an open door policy, and I've always welcomed the opportunity to sit down. And I think it'd be really healthy for prosecutors to sometimes circle back and really hear about what happened. Because we all have to learn. One of the questions that came up at my confirmation hearing was, what would you do differently? And I alluded to this. And I said the world is much more transparent. We expect a lot more from government. We are a less trusting society. We can wonder whether that's right or wrong, but we are a less trusting society today. In part because our culture expects transparency.
Bullshit.
And so,
lots of excuses, guys.
Hear from victims how this impacted them, I think would be healthy for prosecutors generally. I can't commit in this particular case; it's in litigation, but I think that would be healthy for prosecutors generally. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Here's the deal.
makes you so confident
So,
to say you've avoided addressing these people directly?
and I look at that reporting and others, I can't address
All right.
with respect to that particular paragraph. One more question.
Richard Lardner from the Associated Press. Mr. Secretary, were you ever made aware at any point in your handling of this case if Mr. Epstein was an intelligence asset of...
Let's stop. Licks his lips. We had to go back to this. So right when he says final question, he ends up taking a couple more after this, I think, because he doesn't want to end on this one. He doesn't answer the question. As we've been stating this entire time, there is reporting from Vicky Ward, who's been on this case since 2002 and perhaps before, that in fact Costa made this deal because he was told it was above his pay grade and that Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone. He did not state any of that during this entire press conference, and when he was just asked about it, you heard him asked about it, he won't answer the question. Let me repeat it. He won't answer the question. Let's go back.
some sort?
So there has been reporting to that effect, and let me say, there's been reporting to a lot of effects in this case, not just now but over the years, and again, I would hesitate to take this reporting as fact. This was a case that was brought by our office. It was brought based on the facts. And I look at that reporting and others. I can't address it directly because of our guidelines. But I can tell you that a lot of reporting is just going down rabbit holes. A few more questions.
Going down rabbit holes. But again, he never says no. He won't answer that question. And now, what I want to do is I want to bring you to the Dersh. Okay? Let's go to the Dersh and listen to what he has to say. Because Dershowitz pretty much parrots just about every line that Acosta says, by the way. It sounds like they might be coordinated.
No way.
So you're obviously surprised by the allegations.
We were shocked by the allegations, but as a criminal lawyer, being shocked by an allegation doesn't mean that I won't defend somebody.
Alan Dershowitz helped negotiate.
Let's pause it. He's the one that negotiated the deal. I want you to hear what he says about this current thing.
So they
made
cut
a
this
deal.
Oh, they cut
and
the
for
deal.
them, it was not a bad deal. They got him to be a registered sex offender, to pay vast amounts of money to all of the women, and to get him to plead and go to jail and expose him for the world to see.
Expose him for the world to see. Every single point Acosta made in his little press conference and kept going back to Dershowitz made earlier on CBS.
As a sex offender, I think the feds thought it was the best they could do.
Yeah, or he was told to back off because he was an intelligence agent. Huh? What do you guys think? Where does the evidence go? We know Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, was Israel's super spy. Apparently got the Promise software, which is used to spy on people, by the way. Look into Promise, Carnivore, those types of software, all the way back in the day, and distribute that amongst other intelligence assets. His FBI file keeps getting more classified, and you have to go to the international media to understand that he was connected to the Mossad, because that's still not, known in the United States. Guys, if you enjoyed this double broadcast, because somehow I got cut off, if you're not subscribed, now's the time to join the Burmese Brigade. Guys, I'm doing 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 videos a day. I haven't even done my Nexium or Android stuff today. There's going to be a lot of videos later tonight. I'm going to burn the midnight oil. I promise you that. And please, join the Burmese Brigade. Share this on social media. Like it. And if you can, guys, again, I'm trying to fund this. I'm doing it 7 days a week. I'm not telling you I'm special or I can do anything else for you, but I'm putting 30 to 50 videos a week about subjects that matter, and we're going to stay on top of this one and call bullshit when bullshit needs to be called. Do you think the mainstream press is going to focus in on the intelligence asset question? You can bet your sad ass it is not, and it's up to you and me, everybody out there, to hold their feet to the fire and not just believe the parroting bullshit of Alexander Acosta. Because, guys, that's what that just was. All right? I don't know about you, but I did not like anything he had to say there at all. It was all doublespeak. It was all Dershowitz nonsense. And I can't take it. I'm sorry. I'm going to speak out. This is not a good thing. What he just said there is not a good thing. And again, he wouldn't even address directly the allegation that Epstein was intelligence, and that's why he had to back out. Because he's a liar, a.k.a. a lawyer. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you all on the flip side.